What's it like playing bass to Phil Collins' drums?
There's nobody like him.
How did you get the gig with Eric Clapton?
Obviously, it's very humbling. You come off stage and there's Eric Clapton saying, it sounded great. You want to hang out?
Is it true that Quincy called you for Off the Wall?
Yeah, he called me for Off the Wall.
John J.R. Robinson.
We used to call each other white. We'd see each other more than we see our wives.
Daft Punk.
Get lucky.
It's the song of the year, man. It was the everything. I mean, you've had a few of those song of the years.
You see why I love waking up in the morning?
Yeah, dude. You have played bass to Ringo Starr's drums. We got to talk about I Love LA right now because I didn't even realize that was you on there. In the We Love It, who is on that vocal?
Lenny Castro, David Page, Steve Lukather, me, Jeff Porcaro, Steve Porcaro.
And Randy?
And Randy.
That's so great, dude.
Just get around the mic. We love it.
Go. Let's go.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the show. We have another incredible guest lined up for you today. Every single week, we try to set up the most amazing people in music for you so you can listen and get inside the mind and heart and soul of these very, very special people. So today, for episode 64, we have one of the most recorded musicians of all time, Mr. Nathan East. Nathan has already been on over 2,000 recordings from modern day hits like Get Lucky with Daft Punk and Pharrell, all the way to Easy Lover, one of my favorite songs of all time. He's also been on countless others, Michael Jackson, Toto, Stevie Wonder, and he has a 40-year-long career and friendship with Sir Eric Clapton. So we get deep into a lot of those projects, but really I just love spending time with Nathan. I hope you get to feel a piece of his soul and how special of a guy he is, and I hope you get to learn a lot from it and just have a good time overall. So every single week we bring you great people in music, so make sure to like, subscribe, share it with your music-loving friends. Last week, episode 63, we had Don Was. 62, we had George Clinton. Before that, we had Alicia, Zed, Jacob Collier. So it's been a real fun last couple months. We're keeping it going. We're going to go all the way to episode 100 and beyond. So especially with your feedback and your commenting and all that stuff. So it's been really cool getting around and having people just DM us and interact and say that the show has become meaningful to them. So we're really happy to hear that. So without further ado, here is my conversation with the one and only Nathan East. Thank you for being here, man.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure.
It's great to see you.
Lovely spot you have here. Thanks.
You look the same age as from 20 years ago anyway, so you're going to have to share some secrets on here, dude. Come
Man, just wake up every day,
with a smile.
And be with a smile and be in music. Music is something that definitely keeps us young.
Yes.
Used to go to some of the reunions, high
Yes.
school reunions, and it's like, oh, wait a second. And it's been a minute now since I graduated college even, but it's fun to be out here still doing it,
Absolutely, man. And I know you're a grateful guy and you're a God-loving guy.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. Yeah. It's kind of the only way to exist now, with everything that's going on, and as incredible as the world is, but on every area of nuts. It's like, it's really, so I just wake up and pray for guidance on a daily basis.
That's amazing. Well,
Yeah.
great. We already just started, but let's, it's always going. This is why we do the pod, is just to record conversations with awesome people. So I'm going to kick it off officially in 3, 2, 1.
21 minutes past the hour, 32 degrees in here. We're in Los Angeles. We take you live. No.
Hello and welcome to Go With Elbow, a weekly music podcast. Sitting with me today is one of the greatest musicians of all time. You've heard him on nearly every record. Ladies and gentlemen, make a ton of noise for Nathan East.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Nathan. What's up, dude?
It's good to be here. Come on.
Yes, my guy. Thank you. Oh,
Right.
Thank you for coming, Nathan East. Let's go. He's at my house. We're having a good time. He brought his bass. It's sitting over here. What's sitting over here, actually?
Oh, yeah, that's my Yamaha signature bass. And,
Pull it out, dude. Can we see it?
Really? Okay. All right.
This is how, you know what? I want to see this thing. If you got Nathan East here, man, and he's got his bass, come on. We got to, oh my God. It's beautiful. Wow, dude.
And
Oh,
all these people have signed it. Andrea Bocelli right here.
Andrea Bocelli signed it?
He signed it. Yeah, there's Anita Baker, there's Clapton, and there's Bonnie Raitt, Randy Newman.
Anita Baker,
We played it
Clapton,
on
Bonnie Raitt, Randy
Phil
Newman.
Collins.
Phil Collins.
Yeah. I think this is the bass I use on I Love LA, Randy Newman.
Oh my God, it's so great, dude.
Oh, man.
Wait, so you've been collecting signatures for a long minute on this
Andre
guy.
Agassi, B.B. King.
Give me a Sharpie. Elmo Lafano. No,
Yeah,
I'm just
come
kidding.
on. Bob James, come on. He wrote a couple notes. Kirk
Okay,
Whalum.
so since you do thousands of sessions, so what qualifies for someone to be able to sign the bass?
Oh no, you sign it. Come on, let's go. But you know, a lot of the artists that I work with are just you know, I'm as much in awe of their music. When I get a call, I just think, oh, wait a second, there's B.B. King right there. Hey, would you sign my bass, please, sir?
Oh, it's so cool, dude. Is that why you got like the off-white bass, so you could? It's a good palette for signatures.
Actually, the real reason for the off-white bass is Verdine White used to always play a white bass, and my hero in wanting to be like him.
Yes,
just-
not exactly like him.
Right,
An off version,
right, exactly. But
still quite an on version.
yeah, no, and it's I'm as much a fan, you know, as I am a player. You know, just
yeah.
you walk in the room with these people, you have so much fun. Phil Collins, you know, we did that song, Something Happened on the Way to Heaven on this.
Yeah.
Easy Lover.
Easy Lover's this bass.
And
Oh,
let me see, is it this bass, or it's the prototype of this bass? Because this is the signature bass, so we had to do a lot of R&D to come up with everything.
oh yeah.
But the prototype is the one that I used on the Easy Lover.
Which is one of my favorite songs. of
Well,
all
thank
time,
you,
dude.
thank you.
Come on, dude. What a was that the most fun session ever?
The most fun, and that was the last song. I mean, Philip Bailey said we still need one more song, and then we just went up to the piano and literally came up with that in about 20 minutes.
The best ones come fast.
I wish
Yeah.
they all came like that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And then it was okay. You come up with that. We're talking about the Easy Lover, Philip Bailey, Phil Collins session here. So it's the end of an album, right?
Yeah,
And
2 weeks we've been
Yeah.
recording, and we have a lot. And Philip just said, "Boy, I think the label still wants like an undeniable single, because you know we had a lot of
Of course they do.
esoteric, but the label, the accountants say, okay, what do you got that we could sell some records?"
Yeah, what's going to pay for this album?
Right.
You guys are spending a lot on delivery food.
And you know, we literally kind of wrote the track, and Phil Collins was singing "Choosy Lover," you know, so, but we put the track down as a sort of a demo, because it really
Yeah.
came quickly. And the next day, Phil had written some lyrics, you know, to "Easy Lover," and changed it, and then he started singing those, and then I'm going, well, you sound good too. What about a duet? You know, I mean, it's just in 24 hours, it just.
It wasn't supposed to be a duet.
Well, no, it's
Oh,
It's Phil Bailey's record,
Yeah.
and the last song. But then, you know, kind of when I heard Phil singing, I said, "What? You guys should do it as a duet." And okay, let's go to the microphone, and
Because Phil was just drumming on it.
Phil was just drummer and producer.
Drummer and producer.
Yeah, so those are fun stories. You know, those don't happen every day. You know?
That's magic. Right? It's one of those things where you're like, I can only imagine from your perspective. Like, I mean, you have Phil Collins and Philip Bailey here, and you're like, yeah, make it a duet. That should
Listen,
happen.
we're all the way here.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
studio's paid for. Let's go.
Because it's such a great harmony. Oh my God. And melody.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, that was magic in a bottle, you know, and those two, the chemistry and the video and just all the fun, and you know, we've played the thing every tour.
Would you track it live? Was that song tracked live, like as a band? As a
Oh
rhythm?
yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, of course it is.
There's no overdub one at a time.
When
Just-
do you remember tracking, like, because so you wrote it on pianos, like and then like you guys go and you start grooving it out, right?
Right.
Like you're hitting that verse and everything. Like,
yeah.
do you remember? Is the biggest smile ever on your face?
No,
It's
it feels wonderful. I mean, you could tell in the studio when everybody's moving, you know.
it comes across like you can't listen to that song and not just feel good, bob your head, smile, dance. Like it wakes me up. That
Yeah,
song.
no, and for me it was fun. I got back to LA and back when, a lot of radio going on, and I remember just switching dials, heard it on 3 radio stations at once, as I'm riding down the 405, going, yes, come on, let's go.
There's your song you can sell label.
Yeah, no, they were very happy, and it's one of the, forever we've played it live, and it was good fun.
Oh, it's such a fun song. Yeah.
Those are the moments.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's what as you're riding the wave of being in the music world, right? Like you look
Absolutely.
for those waves to catch.
Another one was Get Lucky, same thing, just in the studio, just putting it down, and everybody's dancing.
Okay. All right. We can't just blow past these things here, Nathan. Okay, so let's talk about. We'll just jump to the Get Lucky session. I was going to go I would have had this whole arc, thrown it out the window. Your bass is out.
Chronologic.
Yeah, we're not going chronological right now. Let's talk about, all right, Get Lucky, one of the biggest songs of all time. Daft Punk, Pharrell, Nile Rodgers, yourself, Omar Hakim on drums.
Yeah.
Tell me about that session.
Performed at the Grammys with Stevie Wonder.
With Stevie Wonder.
Yeah. And,
such a cool performance at the Grammys, too, with that whole set, the recording studio.
It's very
studio
cool.
Set.
And, looking out, and there's Ringo. Oh, there's Paul McCartney. Oh, there's Katy Perry. Oh, there's like everybody. The entire music industry was out there.
And it was like the moment of that Grammys, too.
It was pretty fun. And Beyonce. I mean, it was a moment.
It was the song of the year, man. It was the everything. I mean, you've had a few of those song of the years, Nathan.
Man, I tell you what, you see why I love waking up in the morning?
Yeah, dude. Thank God. I see why you thank God every day.
No, every day.
Every day, happy, let's go. Okay, wait, but so for that session, you have the most incredible band. You have like an all-star producer lineup. You have an all-star musician lineup of all musicians that are also producers and everything. So like, are you guys all together in the studio? Like, what was that session like from your perspective? Were you just overdubbing? Like, what is it?
It turned out to be, because those guys are like scientists in the studio, and
Daft Punk and Pharrell?
Yeah. And the 2 primary members of Daft Punk.
Yes.
And they, I almost got in trouble because we were taking pictures in the studio, and then, I'm going to put this on Facebook. No, they don't know what we look like. So, okay. Because, they're always in the studio. There's no mask, and so.
Did you not know that?
Well, I just kind of was so excited about being in the room with the guys, but I didn't.
Also, because you do so many projects with so many artists, I wouldn't think it's crazy to be like that. You just didn't know that they were an anonymous duo.
They, because they perform for 45,000 people, and then they walk out with the crowd, and nobody knows what they look like.
I could see the Rolling Stone headline now. It's like Nathan East reveals faces of Daft Punk.
No, they caught me just in time, but it was the spirit of it was great because we were tracking in the studio. Matter of fact, not far from here, Conway Studios, where I
love Conway.
Did the original track, and so full rhythm section. They sent the track back, and then Niall put the guitar on it, and
so you were there with Omar.
So I was there. Yeah, Omar and the LA contingent.
Yep. And Daft Punk.
And Daft Punk. Yeah.
So, no Pharrell in the studio.
No
that
Pharrell.
Day? No Pharrell.
And it was basically just a track.
Yeah.
At that point, so, so everything was tracks that would put the vocal on later.
Yeah.
And that particular one went back to New York. Niall put his guitar on it, then Pharrell. And by the time I got back to LA, I said, well, if Niall's on there, can I have another go and just do my Bernard Edwards impersonation? Because and so they just turned the Pro Tools on, and they just let it roll. And then I did what you hear as a bass part, just kind of homage to Bernard Edwards.
So great.
Yeah.
And did Daft Punk already have like a demo and they wanted some real feel to it? So they had like you and Omar, or was it like, how did that riff and that groove, that tempo come together?
I think, I think it was just sort of a chart with the chords.
Yeah.
And here, play a groove.
Play a groove. And there wasn't a top line yet.
Not yet.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what we're like called in to do.
Yeah.
Basically.
So you guys cut an instrumental that day.
Yeah.
It's just like boom, boom, boom,
right,
and it just feels good. Daft Punk guys are happy with it.
Everybody's dancing around.
There's no real electronics yet. It's really like a more retro, which is really even when you analyze that song, the actual current record version of that song is like a simple band from the 70s. It's not a Daft Punk electronic beat.
Right. It's what they were going for.
Yeah.
You know?
So you got that, and then they cut that, and then Niall later added the guitars, and then which made you be like, let me recut the bass.
Yeah. Because once I heard that chic vibe, you know, and I had the benefit of hearing the lyrics as well, you know.
So then there was the melody.
There's Pharrell, and then I'm saying, oh, well, let me dance around that, you know.
So that song was really a Daft Punk vision, with Daft Punk being the primaries of even collecting Pharrell on that song.
Right.
I wasn't always sure because it's so identifiable as a Pharrell song, even though, of course, it's Pharrell and Daft Punk and all you guys. But I always wondered, like, well, how did it start? So it starts with Daft Punk.
Yeah.
And then you guys. Yeah.
Yeah. And
wow.
They're geniuses, you know.
Yeah.
And just at, you know, they have 3 different tape machines formats, and they have digital, then they have a 2-inch analog, and then they have a 2-inch digital, and you know, the Pro Tools and the computer. So like it's being recorded to about 4 or 5 different recording sources. And and then you know, at the end of the day, you go and listen, okay, let's hear it on there, let's hear it here, and pick the best one.
Wow.
Yeah.
So so you cut down the rhythm section. They get Niall on to add guitar. You hear it back next, and Pharrell's on it, and Niall's on it, and you're like, oh, this song is a smash.
You know, and I never know you can't predict what a smash will be, but you know what the feel is in the studio. If you're dancing, everybody's moving, you know, wow, this feels great.
Man, can you play the bass line? You got your bass on it right there.
I mean, we should. I'll bring an amp next time.
I need an amp, dude.
No, it was a joy to work with those guys too. And we were at the Grammy party afterwards, and one of the engineers who was editing everything, you know, because you can imagine they're putting so much together, and he says, your bass part, I didn't edit it. That's one take, just straight top to bottom. There's no like piecing things together, you know. I said, really?
You're surprised you're Nathan East. Did you forget?
Oh, come on. I just want to do my best.
You're doing a great job, Nathan. Just keep going. You're going to make it.
I'm working on it. Working on it. Every day I try to get a little better.
All right. So, wow, it's so crazy. It's amazing to hear the stories of like these iconic songs, like from Easy Lover to Get Lucky. Such different
the
generations.
Thing is, starting with a blank piece of tape or a blank disc. Mm-hmm. When you think about, then something gets added to this, but then it resonates all over the world. Like what happened in that room, next thing you know is resonating all over the world. It's still the magic of music to me. You know?
Yeah.
And that's why music forever. Come on.
Music forever.
Exactly.
It's on the whiteboard, you guys. Peace and love, music forever, Nathan East. Okay, so I would love to talk about Eric Clapton.
Oh, man.
Man, you have this incredible, now 40-year working relationship with Eric Clapton.
Yeah, 40 plus now, you know.
40 plus.
83.
83, man. That's so beautiful. And you guys were playing this year. Still playing gigs this year.
Still playing, you know, just text back and forth. I mean, it's amazing. He'll be okay, I can tell. He'll be 80 in March.
That's Googleable.
Yeah, exactly. So we're, you know, and then we announced some shows in Japan to celebrate. So we'll go back to the Tokyo Budokan in April for at least a half a dozen shows.
Oh, I gotta go, man.
Yeah, dude, come on.
Come on. You can teach me Japanese.
Please, let's go.
Give me some secret text like, say this.
Right.
Say this.
Arigato. Come on. Please.
Yeah,
okay, there you go.
I got my few. Wow. Okay, so what is your friendship like with Eric Clapton?
Oh, man, it's turned into more of a brotherhood now, you know. I mean, nobody's been my brother. We've been through a lot, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, when Connor, his son, passed away, that was one of the emotional, you know, ties that really we got closer, recorded Tears in Heaven. That was another one that really resonated with a lot of people around the world, you know. And when Rose, Eric's grandma, passed away, we were together with her, you know, in Ripley, where he grew up at her house. She was like my grandmother, you know, and
That's beautiful to be there for him.
Yeah,
and to
no.
be there with him. And
Yeah.
those are hard. Those are, I mean, the hardest life situations ever.
Yeah, and he's an amazing, not only, you know, his musicianship and everything, but just an amazing human being. And
Yeah.
and you know, to talk about it, I mean, been sober now for I think almost 4 decades. You know,
It's
just-
incredible.
and you know, in music, everybody wants to get high.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
know.
like you think, oh, I want to get it so I can get high and always have the most expensive and best, you know, whatever
Yeah.
your choice is. And it's great to see somebody that's become such an example of, oh no, you got to be clean. You know,
When his son passed away, were you on the road? Were you there? Or?
and it was one of those things too, where you know, like what do you do? And if there was ever going to be a day to start pick up a bottle, you know, and which he didn't, but
Wow.
you know, my heart is and you know, his son was called home by the Lord, you know.
Yeah.
And it was a very, very emotional song. When we recorded Tears in Heaven, I always say, you know, I didn't play the song played me, you know, because literally I just sat there with a bass in my hands, but the notes that came out, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Just,
It's one of the most beautiful and sad songs ever.
Yeah,
Ever. Yeah.
But that's the other thing about music, the healing power that it has, and you know, for those people that have, you know, lost a loved one or whatever, when my father passed away, he dedicated it to my dad. We could barely get through it, you know, at the concert, but
Wow.
it was just, it's one of those things that straight from the heart, and I think really helped a lot of people, you know, like therapy,
Yeah.
get through it.
And it's great. I mean, it's great to have you there too, also to help from like a God perspective, right?
Yeah, I think spiritually and you know, and if you knew Connor, I mean, this beautiful little guy, spoke few languages, you know, Italian and
Wow.
you know, just that's, ooh, I don't know how I would handle it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't ever get better, right? It doesn't ever go
Well,
away.
no, it's,
yeah.
and but that's the thing about this life, that, you know, now what are you going to do today as you go
Yes.
forward? You know,
We're going to live and enjoy every day. Peace and love.
peace and love.
Let's go. Music forever.
Absolutely.
Oh, dude. Well, I mean, it's incredible to have a 40-year friendship with anybody, let alone someone at the magnitude of Eric Clapton, where obviously these people, these like superstars, right, have such like unique lives. They're pulled in a million different directions at all times. There's a lot of opportunity and influence to have new circles or whatever
Yeah.
it may be, right? Of course, it all depends on the artist, and I'm sure Eric is just a walking and doing what he wants to be doing. So
Well, the thing I love though is you know, we'll, you know, walk across to the movie theater and go catch a movie, but he just puts on a hat and.
yeah,
And, you know, I've been with him where somebody recognized me and not him.
so great.
And they go, "Oh, no, you play with Eric Clapton," and he's just kind of slumped in the seat laughing. You know, but I mean, he's more regular than, like, you know, you say rock star and everything, and
Yeah,
but I mean, there he is down the street at the laundromat doing his laundry, you know,
get the man a laundry machine.
on tour. And
In-unit
I love it.
laundry for Eric Clapton, please.
And on the road, you know, doing laundry is kind of one of those things that
Yeah.
makes you feel like you're at home. You know, it just gives you,
Human stuff.
all the human stuff. And that's who he is, though. He's just a lovely man who's very generous, very kind, and doesn't really buy into the rock star.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Oh, it's beautiful.
yeah.
How did you get the gig with Eric Clapton?
Oh man, that's a good. Well, I think it was destined. When we were doing Easy Lover, Phil Collins took me. You know, we went out to a pub one night, and Eric was there, so I got introduced then. But then I was doing Live Aid with Kenny Loggins in
Yep.
Philly. And after I came off stage, Eric was on the side of the stage. Said, "Hey, it's great, we're gonna hang out," you know. So it's like there were all these times where we just were kind of meeting each other, and then when Warner Brothers, the Behind the Sun album
Yeah.
was being recorded, they had done some work in England and then Warner Brothers goes, well, we have our guys and we have some songs, and our guys were like, I was in that group, but Steve Lukather and Greg Fillinganes, Michael Omarty, and Jeff Porcaro.
Oh my God, dude.
So one day we got together, they called us in for a session, and we're all at the studio. So Eric comes in, and it's just the serious mutual admiration. Like, we're all bowing, and he's
like,
we're all intimidated with each other.
The whole room.
He comes in, who are these LA guys?
Wow.
And but some of those songs that we recorded, we're still playing to this day on tour, and just
wow.
Yeah, he recognizes music that comes from the heart,
mm-hmm.
and players that come with an attitude from the heart.
Okay, so when you're recording Easy Lover, Phil Collins says, let's go to a bar. You go to a bar, Eric Clapton's there. Phil knows Eric.
Right.
He says, oh, what's up? Oh, it's Nathan. He's like, he thinks, okay, you're the guy on the session. Maybe he hasn't heard you play yet.
Right.
That was what, a year later was Live Aid, right?
Right.
Like a year later.
Yeah.
And so you're playing with Kenny Loggins in front of 200,000 people.
Yeah.
Clapton is side stage. He's hearing you play Footloose, which is the craziest bass line. And he's probably like, I want this guy to boogie with me. That's a boogie bass line.
It was funny because he said the first thing I noticed how loud he was. Like, I didn't think I was loud, but he said it wasn't like overbearing. He just said I could hear the bass.
Nice, even from side stage. Let's go. Well, there wasn't in-ears then.
Exactly. So, but it obviously it's very humbling. You come off stage,
wow.
and there's Eric Clapton saying, "It sounded great. You want to hang out?" And
yes,
So I think we kept running into each other, then the Warner Brothers producers, again, our paths, I think, were meant to cross.
Yes. Oh man, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So he says you want to hang out. You guys hang out. That involves jamming, I'm assuming, of some sort. Or was it really just like, you want to hang?
Yeah, it was just kind of, you want to hang. As a matter of fact, I think at that point I had some family in Philly, being born there. There's a lot of uncles and everything. So that particular night I had, was spoken for, but we got together and hung, and it's really great because he's one of those guys too that just loves to sit down and have a jam and play.
Yeah.
And again, just very, very much like away from this kind of elevated rock star high stage presence to a guy that, hey, what are you doing? Let's have a coffee, a tea.
Yeah, gotta have the tea.
You gotta have the tea, and a jam.
When he was watching you play side stage, do you think he wanted to hang out with you because of your bass playing or because of the yellow pants?
Oh no, busted. Exactly.
Dude, I love that footage of you. I was watching it last night since you were coming over today, and I was like, you're so happy and you sound incredible. It seems like such a moment, man. And yeah.
In youth, you just do things sometimes you say, why did I wear yellow pants?
Because you're playing in front of 200,000 people at Live Aid, playing a hit song and rocking it.
Unbelievable.
No,
yeah,
you looked
good
awesome.
time.
You
Thank
looked
you.
awesome.
Thank you.
I'm jealous. I can't wear yellow pants. I can on the pod because you can't see my legs. So
yeah, no pants right now.
Exactly.
No, but
comfortable.
Again, I love my life because of all those reasons.
Yeah, that's so great, man.
Yeah.
Change the world.
Oh man.
What another massive, just incredible, wonderful, beautiful, perfect composition of a song, and one record of the year, one song of the year at the Grammys. What was that session like?
Well, it's again, sometimes you walk into a session and the song you're asked to play on, you wish you wrote. Like people say, any song you wish I wish I wrote changed the world, because what a song, and it's basically a blues, but.
Yeah.
And then, then you get Babyface, who we were just working together almost every day at that time,
Yeah.
So, and Eric was a fan of his, so, what a good call, asking Babyface to produce it, And so it came in there with Babyface, and sure enough, heard it and just thought, yeah, come on.
Man. How many times has there been such a small world happen to you to where, for example, Eric Clapton's the artist, Babyface is the producer, you're already the guy with both of these people? Like,
you can't make this up. You really can't. I mean, that's why, I go to bed with a smile on my face, because I'm thinking, Babyface, Clap, and then the way it came together, and then record of the year, song of the year. I was thinking, how cool!
So cool.
You
You are very tapped in, man. You're on the right path every day.
And for me, it's going to work. He's getting a call, and you never know what. I mean, I went in there. Oh, cool song, and who's this for? Eric Clapton. Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, so Clapton wasn't even there when you went in. So you got the call from Babyface.
From Babyface.
To do a session.
For
Clapton.
Because, with
Wow.
Babyface, when he calls you, you're going in and you're either doing Brandy or Beyonce or, it could be any of the people in his camp.
Yeah.
And so Tony Braxton or whatever, Aretha. And so this day it just happened to be Eric Clapton.
Was Clapton not on it yet?
And he wasn't on it yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it Babyface singing like the top line melody?
And it was Babyface singing along, and
Whoa.
And of course those beautiful background vocals. And so it's it could be a Babyface song.
It could be. I never thought of that. That's wild.
And we actually did it at Babyface's Unplugged show in New York, and Eric came and sat in.
Oh man, that's incredible.
So that's a good one to
So,
hear.
Wow, it's such a R&B song. It
Yeah.
could be a Tony Braxton song. It could be like, that's so
Pretty
crazy.
much.
I never thought of that.
Pretty much anybody.
Anybody, yeah. Yeah, any of Babyface's like repertoire.
Yeah.
Like, wow, so Babyface wrote that song, produced it, got it all together, and then put Clapton.
But then he didn't even write it though. It was written by Tommy Sims and a few guys in Nashville.
Wow.
So like I say, that's I was, oh man, I wish I wrote that.
Oh, yeah, it's a gorgeous song.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't think of Clapton being that kind of artist. Like,
No.
I'm sure that was a different thing for him.
I think Robbie Robertson, rest his soul,
Yeah.
was he might have had something to do that with putting that together. He may have found the song or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but
Yeah.
how things, people and they say, hey, you're doing a record. Oh, I have a song. And wasn't it a soundtrack? I'd have to go back, but I think it was associated with a soundtrack as well. And so
Yeah. It's incredible.
all in a day's work.
Man, beautiful thing to be a part of.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is the greatest lesson you've learned from Eric Clapton?
Oh man, well it's almost like a lesson that you learn from a lot of great people. Listen is what a lot of people that arrive at that level. They like you ask them for one piece of advice and they listen, and that means in a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Or especially to the music, because nowadays everybody just wants to roll in and show you what they got, and and there's some beautiful Olympic chops, scroll down any
Instagram feed will show you that.
Yeah. And but like Quincy Jones used to say, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you could listen twice as much as you speak, and I think with music, a big part of the reason it ends up being so this magical thing that resonates with so many people is because we're responding to each other. So you hear a lick, oh, then I'll respond to that, and then they respond to what you play, and so it becomes a big dialogue in this beautiful circle.
Man.
And and then people like Eric, I just watch the way he handles himself around, because obviously people are just trying to get to him.
I can only imagine.
Up one side, down the other.
Yeah.
However, you'll see him. He'll just go out on his own and walk down the street to the noodle shop, with his hat and no big entourage or anything. And that's what I appreciate about him, to be somebody who is that relevant and that important in the business, but doesn't take themselves to the point where it's not this big entourage of people. Okay, clear the way, clear the way.
Yes, dude, for sure.
Yeah,
Wow.
which I love.
That's so cool.
The humility, the humanity, and the other thing is, he dedicated a big part of his life to helping people with recovery.
Yes.
And this is something that he's been a big blessing for a lot of people, and we've been to the Crossroads Center
Oh yeah.
in Antigua.
Yeah.
And it's not a spa, You know, it's not a like you know, it's in the islands, but that's where you go to get clean.
So cool, man.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. He's created this whole world.
Yeah. So to give of yourself like that is
Yeah.
another huge life lesson of
Absolutely.
It's not about me. I'm trying to give something.
Last time I saw you guys play was at the Forum.
Okay.
A few years ago. When was that?
It wasn't at the Forum.
Yeah, at the Forum.
Okay.
I went with Charlotte. Invited me.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. God, it's hard to remember if that was pre-COVID or post-COVID.
Yeah, it might have been pre.
Might have been pre, huh? Like maybe 2019 or
Because
something.
we just did it last month for Robbie Robertson tribute.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I missed that.
And then it was Crypto, which it's our desire, Staples Center. It was Crypto Reno in 2023 for the Crossroads Festival, Guitar Festival.
So cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, much love, Eric Clapton. Keep ripping. Let's
my
go.
brother.
Keep rocking.
Yeah.
Phil Collins.
Oh man.
Got to talk about Phil Collins, the man who introduced you to Clapton.
Right.
Man,
they were neighbors, you know.
Are you?
No, they were neighbors.
Oh, they were neighbors.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Out in Guilford, which is, you know, this little nice, beautiful, sleepy little, you know, area outside of London in about an hour.
What's it like playing bass to Phil Collins drums?
Oh man. A whole nother unique experience. I love where he puts the beat and the way he plays, and there's nobody like him. Nobody like Phil.
Man.
Absolutely adore him. And when we went to do the Philip Bailey Chinese Wall album sessions, his first number one, and it was number one that week. It had just gone number one against all odds. So it was like, wow, working with the number one artist right now around the world. It was, and you know, obviously playing in the studio, just we had so much fun, and then you know to tour with him. And I remember you know getting to play on a Phil Collins record too.
Yeah.
I think it was Something Happened on the Way to Heaven. Might have been the first song we recorded on his album.
That's so cool. And then how about him on your album?
And then come on.
Nathan East gets these people, the biggest artists in the world, on his solo. Well, I mean, you do write incredible music, man.
Oh, thank you. No, a joy. And it's like, what do you have to lose? Oh, would you play on my album, please? You know,
No big deal. You're just getting Phil Collins and Stevie Wonder and all these cats on your
Stevie.
solo albums.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Eric. No, it's Michael McDonald. No, it's good to have friends.
And so I learned recently that it really all started, your first big gig was Barry White, right?
First big gig, yeah.
And you were 16?
Yeah.
And the first show was Madison Square Garden?
It was, I think it was Madison Square Garden.
It's crazy, dude.
It's
So
crazy.
you were meant to do this, man.
No, and I'm in a tuxedo, you know, with a bow tie, sitting on stage with the Love Unlimited Orchestra in Madison Square Garden, sold out, and Barry White is singing, and I'm thinking, this is kind of cool.
Is this a career path?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm just, you know, only been playing bass for a couple of years, but he came down and heard this band I was in, local band called Power, and we backed up all the Stax recording artists, and he was one of the artists with Rufus Thomas, a bunch of people, and they called us up to his office in Beverly Hills. Next day, the whole band, he said, I want you all to go on the road.
Was Power a San Diego band?
It was a San Diego band.
So the San Diego band somehow gets the attention of Los Angeles, let alone to
Right.
Barry White.
Right. Which is amazing.
And didn't also Power get the attention of Quincy Jones?
We got the attention of Quincy Jones.
Dude, how did this teenager, was everyone else 16 too?
Yeah, we were all teenagers. And my brother was playing guitar, so he's two years older than me.
How
You know,
did
at the
these
time.
young kids in San Diego make a band called Power that's
Right.
how did you even make enough noise? How did people hear about you?
We went to Crawford High School together. You know, we were kind of basing ourselves off of Earth, Wind and Fire, Kool and the Gang, Tower of Power. We were a horn band, and so we had a lot of gigs, and we kept pretty busy there. You know, a lot of really good gigs, and one of them was the Barry White. You know, backing up his bunch of artists when he came to town. Cannonball Adderley took note of us, and we he liked us, and so we toured and opened for him, on the West Coast.
So that was the first break for Power?
Yeah.
Was Cannonball.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
What a cool.
and he said, you know what, I'm taking you up to Quincy Jones's house, and we went up to his house and played for Quincy.
Was that the Bel Air house?
That was the Bel Air house. And I remember, there's Billy D. Williams over there in the corner. And I mean, it was just like, and there's Quincy Jones, and we played. I remember it was we did a version of 2001: A Space Odyssey by Diodato, and so we did that for Quincy.
Cannonball introduces you to Quincy as a teenager. This is pre Barry White.
This might have been post Barry White.
So Power was still a unit.
Yeah, Power was still a unit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, did Power end up playing with Barry White or just you?
It was me. It was a few members of Power.
Okay.
Yeah, a few members.
God, I want to split it into two different directions right here. Just to finish up on Barry White real quick, because you're 16, you're playing Madison Square Garden, with Barry White, who's also a very intimidating artist, right?
Very.
Like it's so in terms of like artist etiquette and learning how to do artist etiquette as a hired gun. That's a whole thing they should teach a class on.
You go to Barry White University, BWU, and because we played Kennedy Center, Detroit Cobo Arena, like all these iconic places. We played the Apollo.
Wow.
and I just remember thinking like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Wow, dude.
Early.
That's so crazy. That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's great. And the Quincy thing was very special because he loved the band, and immediately there were talks of, let's make an album. What kind of album do you guys want to make?
Yeah.
And he was very focused on it. You could be R&B. I know everybody plays jazz. You play R&B, but so what kind of album? He's like, and then he had the aneurysm.
The aneurysm. Yeah.
So that pretty much, then that was kind of it.
Wow, but Quincy was interested in producing.
Unbelievable.
That group. It's crazy. Imagine if that would have happened, like your trajectory.
Different.
I mean, you've had this incredible career, but like I wonder what would have changed.
Different path. Barry White came back around and called me for many of his records,
Yeah.
and Love Unlimited. And so I'll never forget the first record I recorded. Oh, great. I got it home. Cracked. I was just telling everybody I'm on the Barry White record, and let's see, produced by Barry, arranged by Barry White, concept Barry. No musician's name on the record. I'm going, bro.
No credits.
I called the managers. And I said, what happened to putting names on the record? He said, oh, he doesn't want anybody to steal his sound, so he doesn't put the names on the record. Ray Parker Jr., Lee Ritenour, all these guys, Wah are in the
wild
section.
ensemble.
Yeah. David T. Walker, but he no names. So there's literally no proof except what you hear.
Wow. And that was you on Ecstasy.
Ecstasy when you yeah.
It's so great, dude.
Was,
so were you like 18 then?
Yeah, I think I had grown to about 19, 20 by the time I started coming up to to LA. Let's see. Yeah, I was about 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing, dude.
We were doing the records with him.
Man. So you're already at the place in your career to where you're juggling gigs and big artists, even as a 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old.
It was kind of crazy, and I remember because like back in those days, you had the guys that were working for scale, but then the double scale guys were so booked that they had to charge double.
Yeah.
So those were the kings. Larry Carter, Lee Ritenour, all the Ray Parker Jr. And those you'd see them writing double scale on their on their W2.
That's so cool.
So then I'm a single guy, but then I started getting busy, and then pretty soon I had a conflict of date. Oh no, I took a date, and then Barry called me, and then so I remember asking him, and he used to have the 357 Magnum and the Stutz America. It would be other, and so I said, oh, I might have to ask him for double. The guys, oh man, it's been nice knowing you, and
the guys are like, don't ask.
No, they don't ask, and they no. I said, yeah, but I'm getting these gigs, and I don't know what to do. So I went in there, and I said, Barry, I have some other gigs, and if I could do if I could get double scale, then that way I can turn them down. And he looked at me and then Nate, if you want that, you got that. You know, and I go, oh man,
Whoa.
But I was sweating, you know, like.
Was that you realizing your value at that point?
Well, that was one of the times where I realized that it's like a stock, you know, the value goes up, it goes down, but after talking to the guys, you know, when you talk to the big leaguers, they say, yeah, pretty soon you have to do double.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then they're going to kind of respect you a little more and everything. I said, okay, you know, I do it for the love.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the first session I got paid for. I was looking around, making sure nobody got the license number. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Wait, I just had the most fun. Your sound is reproduced in the best quality, and you're going to get paid for it? Sign me up.
Let's go.
Yeah. But it was, you know, it was kind of like, and some of the guys, you know, took me under their wing, you know, okay, here's what you do, you know, and here's how it works.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
That's so beautiful, man.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, back to our boy Quincy. Is it true that Quincy called you for Off the Wall?
Yeah. Yeah. He called me for Off the Wall. And it was like turning down Quincy Jones to play on Michael Jackson Off the Wall. Who does that?
You had obligations?
But I had just taken the tour with Kenny Loggins.
And he was paying you triple scale now at this point.
No, and it was cool because I remember Kenny calling me and he says, hey, I'd love you to go on the road and we'll have a lot of fun and you know, we'll take care of you. And so let's go. And literally the next day, Quincy calls and oh man, I just took this gig, you know. So you know, you got to take the gig, got to honor the commitment. But it was like, ooh,
oh my God, bro.
I know.
That's wild. But then he called again.
Yeah.
The Quincy calls kept coming.
They
right?
kept coming and
Bad? You were on Bad?
Up on Bad, yeah.
So sick, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you know, it's just like, whew, you know, because and again, you know, when you get calls from those kind of guys, and Quincy used to say too, you know, getting the call is one thing, but then when you get the call back, that's amazing too.
Right.
So,
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So,
anyone can get the call once.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you get it twice?
And that kind of lets you know, because I've seen people get the call once, and that was it, you know. So
on Bad, you did I Just Can't Stop Loving You.
Right.
Were you on? Was it just that session on Bad?
I think it was just that session.
Yeah. Amazing session.
Yeah, amazing session.
Wow.
You know, and Saida Garrett singing the duet with him, and Michael's there. You know,
was that tracked as a live band?
Yeah.
Is that JR on drums?
And that's
or was that Ndugu?
Yeah, Ndugu was playing.
Ndugu was on that.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
They all kind of start.
And Greg?
Yeah, I think Greg.
Yeah. Phil and Gaines on there?
Yeah, Phil and Gaines, who was Quincy's first call for everybody.
For sure.
Yeah.
And but you guys were tracking the instrumental, right?
Doing the track.
Doing the track.
Yeah.
Michael's just kind of in the control room watching.
Yeah, he's watching, but then every now and then if Quincy says, hey, Michael, go sing with the guys so they can get an idea.
Scratch vocal?
Do a little scratch vocal, which he doesn't do scratch vocals.
That's the track.
And but yeah, I'll never forget pulling up to Westlake Studio and then this black Mercedes pulls up. You know, the windows are tinted. I don't know who's in there, and then the door opens up, and there Michael gets out like he just stepped out of the Thriller video or something. Red leather jacket,
wow,
sunglasses, and just exciting times.
Yeah, because that was like peak fame, right?
Peak,
holy shit.
Yeah, just top of the world.
Would he come in alone? There's no way.
Yeah.
Entourage? Alone. No monkey?
No monkey.
No
no monkey, no security. Just, you know, there he is just pulling up, rolling up on the studio in the back.
Hey guys.
In the back alley. It was great having dinner. It was always like a chef. We'd go upstairs and have a gourmet meal after the session. It was fantastic.
Was he a good hang?
Great hang.
Wow.
Telling jokes and just as cool as ever.
Man.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
No, it's cool.
Was Saida there?
And yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
And she's so lovely.
Yes, she's the best.
Yeah.
She's the best. And you know, wrote Man in the Mirror. Come on. And those were the days where you just...
Wasn't Man in the Mirror on that record? That's on Bad, no?
I think it is, but I'd have to check.
Anyways,
they all start to run into, because then
same bulk of work.
Yeah,
was with Saida.
We were recording How Do You Keep the Music Playing on James Ingram record. I think that was a fourth soundtrack maybe, and with Patty Austin, and there's David Foster on keys coming up with the intro right there, and Ndugu on drums. I mean, it's kind of special.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
When you'd get these calls from Quincy, like, what is it called, like, from Quincy Jones presenting you an opportunity? Are they short? Are they long?
You know what? It's every variation on the theme. It's either, it could be him, it could be the contractor, it could be the arranger, whoever. But yeah, he's called. Phones ring, there it is, and then 30 minutes later, my wife says, "Hey, pick up the phone. Quincy's on there." It's like, really?
He's been talking to her for 30 minutes.
Yeah, just
Quincy talks.
That's who he is. Yeah, and then sometimes, after the session, and I'm thinking, yeah, you have to be somewhere, right? But we're sitting there talking till 2, 3 in the morning.
Man,
yeah,
that's so quintessential Quincy.
Yeah, now and then many sunrise services together. Yeah.
Wow,
I miss him dearly.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. The world misses him.
The world misses him, dude. What a blessing to all of us. That's so great that you got to spend so much time with him and to collab with him in so many different settings.
Very blessed to have been able to amass a lot of times. Man,
I can only imagine, because you were with him in his prime, dude. Like, I didn't meet Quincy until he was until 2018, right? So
wow, amazing.
So he was still he's still that social guy. But he's not, obviously.
I mean, but even in 2018, Quincy saying, "Oh man, I still got a lot left to do."
Yeah, he's packed. He's still his finger on the pulse.
Jacob Collier, he manages his incredible career,
and not only manages him, but like heard him before anybody else did, and knew like this kid's got it.
Yeah,
Absolutely that's what's so crazy, to see something in someone before they even see it or before anybody else sees it. And for you to be like, I want to invest in you. I want to help you. I want to be there.
The mark of an amazing producer too, a visionary and somebody that can see those things.
Yes, dude.
Hear a song and say, "Human Nature, come on, that's going on the album."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
man. Much love to Q.
Yeah, much love, Q.
All right, well, dude, since I have you here, we got to do a whole section on drummers.
Drummers.
This is the drummer section of the Nathan East.
My favorite subject.
Interview. There we go, dude. This is the podcast that loves drummers more than anything else.
Well, I mean, in drums and bass, I always equate it to like the foundation of a house, the cement, that gets poured and then you build the house on top of that, So yes, bass and drums, and we literally, I mean, John Robbins, JR and I, we used to call each other wife, we'd see each other more than we see our wives, literally hours and hours, 10,000 hours of sessions, all over this town.
Okay, so we're going to list off some drummers right here. I want you to tell me what it feels like to play with them.
Feels great.
I'll tell you what, bass players got it. Let's start with John J.R. Robinson.
Well, here's a guy that before I actually met him and had a chance to play with him, I used to just put on those records that he did with Quincy and George Benson and all those people. Every one of those artists that Quincy produced, and I just listened to the drums, and I would just close my eyes and just like I would just only focus on the drums. Like everybody else would disappear, and I just listen saying, "This is unbelievable. How solid, but it feels good, and it has everything that you'd ever want."
Yes.
So I think I may have visualized playing with JR before we actually got to play together.
That's so you're like, I'm ready for this.
Yeah. And obviously, love at first sight. And every session we were on, we just spend most of the time laughing.
I can only imagine, actually, and now I'm going to put it on my to-do list. I would love to hang you, me, and JR.
Come on.
Because I feel like that's got to be just a great time.
Great time. Let's do it.
We're going to schedule that. Harvey Mason Sr.
Oh, man. Well, like blessed enough to be in a band with him.
Man.
FOREPLAY. And
And incredible success, dude, that you guys have had with FOREPLAY is amazing for you guys to come together and supporting all these great artists. And you guys do your artist project and have number ones.
Do our own thing. Yeah. I mean, and we have, 14 albums under our belt, first couple, platinum. It's unbelievable when you think about it. We're just 4 guys having fun making instrumental music.
So cool.
And Harvey, I was in a band that played probably 6-7 songs from Harvey Mason, Funk in a Mason Jar album, So like I was a fan, years and years before I met Harvey. And then we played together. He actually recommended me to play on Bob James's Grand Piano Canyon album. And Lee Ritenour recommended me as well. The 4 of us got together for that record, which I call the first FOREPLAY record. Chemistry was all over the place. And that was 1990. And then Bob had a position at Warner's as an A&R man. And they signed us sight unseen. So, yeah, come on. And I'll never forget the first session at United, which was Ocean way back then.
Yep.
Mo Austin, Lenny Waronker, Michael, the entire Warner, they were there before we arrived at the studio. And they were champions of the band.
Oh, it's so cool, dude.
Yeah.
Studio Air B in Ocean Way. Which room?
It was B.
No,
as
nice.
a matter of fact.
That's the drum room, bro.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic.
Ringo Starr.
Ringo, come on.
Bro, you have played bass to Ringo Starr's drums.
You know what? Again, and my phone rings and there he is on the other end, And the first time I thought, because Greg does a great Ringo impersonation. Come on, Greg, but it was Ringo, And, I saved all the messages because he'll leave a message, and it'll be Sunday and he said, what are you doing this week? Can you come up? And again, if it weren't, for the great stories and half the time, okay, let's get this finished so I can hear some stories.
Oh my God, dude. Wait, can we hear one of the messages from Ringo?
Let me see. I'll pull it out for next time.
Damn it. Okay. I'll wait. I'm patient.
Yeah, no. But it's magic.
Yeah.
There he is, and couldn't be sweeter.
Did you say peace and love before he says hello?
Peace and love.
Yeah.
Peace and love,
Did the amount of peace and love coming out of you, did that come from the Ringo influence?
Absolutely. And then what better words are there? Peace and love.
Yeah, man.
What better 2 words to go together on this
so
planet?
Cool, dude. Yeah, so I mean, because when you think about unique swings,
wow, yeah,
the Ringo feel is so individual. It's like just
unique.
Yeah, it's so unique. It's like
the Phil Collins feel.
Like the Phil Collins feel, and the Harvey Mason feel. Like they're all these feels are so unique in their ways. Like
Harvey Mason used to program a drum machine and it sounded like him.
It's so cool.
It's like him in a box.
Wow. Okay, let's go the opposite direction. Vinnie Colaiuta.
Oh my goodness, Vinnie.
Lord Vinnie.
Yeah, Lord Vinnie. I don't know what else to say except just the top guy of the game and play anything and make it feel good. I saw him with Sting at the Hollywood Bowl, and I was just smiling the whole time at how great he made those songs feel. But we do everything, and Vinnie's known for everything.
Yeah.
From the best chops anybody ever has to the best groove, And very few people can cover that much territory like Vinnie.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
Probably my number 1 favorite drummer of all time.
Yeah, he's right, for me, he's right up there with Jeff Porcaro.
Yes, man. Who you also got to work with, Jeff Porcaro.
Yeah. And we would just start laughing when we'd walk in the studio and see each other because we knew, okay, we're not going to have to go to work today.
Wow.
It's just, just like 2 kids. And he was such a champion when I first moved to town. He recommended me for so many gigs. It was unbelievable.
Jeff did?
Jeff did, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he loved playing with you.
Oh, man. It was incredible. And I think about him all the time, too.
Wow.
Just one of the guys that, just the way he approached music. We did I Love L.A. together with Randy Newman. You know, you could hear his wife. We love it. You know,
You're in the scream too. I didn't know you guys did We Love LA.
Yeah,
it's hard to keep up with your credits.
No, it's another one you can hear us kind of going crazy on is George Benson's "Lady Love Me."
Really?
Written by David Page. Yeah, and it's just even to the last drop as it's fading, Jeff just does the coolest fill, and I loved him.
Wow.
Loved him with all my heart, yeah.
He's someone that I think about. I'm like, wow, I wonder what it would be like if he was still around.
Yeah, same thing. But yeah, you know, you talk about guys like Jeff, Vinnie, Ricky Lawson.
Yeah, Ricky, man.
Yeah.
One of the greatest ever.
One of the greatest ever. Did my albums, you know.
Yes.
And he was my brother, truly. You know, just again, sometimes the good ones, they leave us too soon.
Yeah, man.
Like Carlos Vega.
Yeah.
And but that's the thing I love about LA. It's the talent in this town is off the chain.
Yeah.
You know? And on every instrument.
Yeah.
And level, producers, writer. Just saw the John Williams documentary the other night. It's like there's so much talent
everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what all the traffic is. It's just talent trying to get to other areas where they capture talent.
No. It's really amazing when you think about it.
Oh, I mean, I have a whole long list of drummers, but I want to cram as much as I can in here. Do we have 5 more minutes?
No, absolutely.
Okay. We got to talk about I Love LA right now because I didn't even realize that was you on there, and that's become such a hit again with this massive Dodgers success.
Right, and then we played it actually at the Staples Center for the three-peat for when the Lakers won 3 in a row. You know, and they said, okay, let's get everybody that played on that down to the
so great
to the court and play it.
So I'm assuming, of course, you've been to games where you hear it.
Of course.
Yeah. And are you just like, yeah?
Well, it puts a smile on my face because then especially because when you hear "We Love It," like we all were around the mic, but you can just hear Jeff's voice just so prominently in there. Lukather, all the guys on there, Paige.
Who? Yes. Okay. So in the "We Love It," who is on that vocal?
Everybody. Lenny Castro, David Page, you know, Steve Lukather, me, Jeff Porcaro, Steve Porcaro.
That's so great.
Just get around the mic. We love it.
Oh, and Randy?
And Randy. Yeah.
That's so great, dude.
Who's a hoot, too. He's the best.
Seems like it.
He's the best.
God.
Just love him.
That must have been an incredibly fun session.
Oh, man. So much fun. Like you go to work every day and that's what you're doing, you know, recording I Love LA. Come on,
dude. Just screaming I Love LA.
Right.
Being a part of history, man. You've been a part of so much history.
Oh man, you know, you don't realize it at the time.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show you wherever you are, you got to stay in that moment, and you don't know what that moment is actually doing.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes it's just a moment that goes by, but in cases like that, you know, here, you know, we're 40 years plus later, and it's still getting played at the halftime. You know,
yeah, man, it's the best.
Yeah.
You seem like the best dad.
Oh man,
I see you playing with your son all the time, and you guys sound incredible together. Your son is super talented, Noah. Like, wow.
You know, Noah East has become my favorite musician. I mean,
that's so cool.
And not because I'm his dad and I'm trying to throw him a bone, because he's like one of my favorite musicians. An ear of life, in perfect pitch, and he hears things that I can't hear.
Wow.
You know? And I feel again, you know, when I'm standing next to him, all I'm doing is saying, "Thank you, Lord, for this blessing, you know,
yes.
to get to be here and just help me to be better."
Yes, man. I am not yet a dad, but it is a goal of mine.
You have a lot to look forward to.
I'm really excited.
And I just haven't met your lady. She's lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How can I be the best dad?
You know what? I'm sure you had a great dad, you know, because I think dads are our first role models. You know, that's why I'm so heartbroken when I hear people that don't have dads, you know.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of moms out there, single moms raising a family. And the first thing that goes to my mind is, oh man, somebody missed out on an opportunity to have a role model every day to look up to,
Mm-hmm.
And so in that position, I try to be somebody that, I try to do the best job I can so that when they look up, they see somebody that they can emulate and that they can, use as an example. Because growing up is hard, especially in this crazy world where influencers are trying to influence you. And it's a little bit sad now how influenced we are by people, that you don't even know. And you're going on this thing scrolling and somebody's telling you what to do, how to live, what not to do, what to eat, what not to eat. And it's like pretty soon, how can you work it out for yourself?
Wow.
And so with all those things in mind, I just try my best. And I had a great father in my life. My parents were married till death do you part, 56 years,
Incredible.
Yeah.
Man.
And big family. So I had a real good example of somebody, somebody that's, okay, that's what you do. Oh, care about, be with them, be present.
Absolutely.
So
with you being a musician, and so now you both your kids play music, yeah?
They both play music, yeah.
So how do you I hope that my kids will play music, but I don't want to push it on them, right? So how do you present music to them, or what did you do to get them to hopefully then fall in love with it themselves?
I started playing music while they were in the womb. I was playing Mozart and things that I was working on, and I would actually literally just hold the speaker up to my wife's, to her stomach, and especially Mozart and classical music, where now the seed is being planted.
Yes.
And it's funny because they love music. My daughter this morning, she was asking. She said, "This song is on my head. Who's this? Da 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 da." And it's what a fool believes by Doobies,
Doobie Brothers.
And she said, "I think Michael McDonald's singing out." I said, "Oh yeah, that's what the fool. Oh yeah, that's the one." And I'm thinking, how cool is it that my daughter is feeling a song that that I was loving in the '80s,
Yes,
and that I got to play, and so they've loved music and they've been around it all their lives, and obviously I remember I was on the phone with Greg Fillinganes, and he was with Michael Jackson when they were twins, and I told him I love twins, and guys, Michael Jackson just said he loves twins. It's like, and they go, wow, Michael Jackson, and my son, to tell you how good his ears are, we'd play a record in the car, and Quincy used to, a trick they used to do is VSO speed a little faster than the record. They used to just to give it a little more energy.
Yeah. And
we were listening to the car, and then Noah said, "Hey, how come that's not in the key of the record?" I'm going,
wow.
He's hearing like a quarter tone off faster, but that's when I knew he had some crazy serious ears,
That's so cool, man. So dude, here you are at 69?
Bro.
You look amazing, dude.
Thank you.
And your energy
it's my favorite
is
age so far.
Your spirit, it's your favorite age so far. I love to hear that. I look forward to getting old. I turned 40 this year, so that was my first birthday. It hits you in a total positive way. I was just like, oh wow,
yeah.
But man, I'm so happy to hear you say that. No, it seems like it.
It's my favorite. Got up and did my squats this morning, and
let's go. Stay physically healthy.
Let's go. Yeah, and it's just fun. I mean, especially when I have friends like Eric's going to be 80, Quincy's 91, I mean, these people get it done,
yeah.
And so, yeah, it feels good. It feels like, wow, you made it this far, really?
Man.
But I remember when I was a kid, 60, I couldn't even imagine, my parents weren't even 69.
Yes.
But it's a blessing to make it that far.
And what's next for you?
70. No.
Then 71.
Then 71. No, so next is we're putting the final touches on a duo album with my son, father-son, and getting that ready for a release probably in January of 2025. And then we've got some cool gigs lined up already.
Let's go.
And let's go. So we'll do that. And Clapton, we're going to Japan, so
it's gonna be a fun 2025, bro.
Get the party started. Let's go, yeah.
Man, well, I wish I bought the Nathan E stock back in 1975. Ladies and gentlemen, Nathan is greatest in the game. Let's go.
That's too funny.
Thanks for
I
joining
love
us,
that.
bro.
It's a pleasure, bro. Thank you.
Go with Elmo. 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 This is the stuff, man.
Really fun. You have a great show, man. Congratulations. I love it.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. Thanks
yeah.
for giving us the time.
Peace and love.